Hi guys, welcome to Golden Shred and welcome to a smoke tutorial for Dust 2. I'm also going to go through some flashes and also a few nades and some general tips and tricks. So the first one I'm going to show you is to smoke long corner from terrorist side, and that is to push up here right into the corner and aim at the door. Now go up just below the wires here. So it doesn't have to be exact. I mean, it's smoke, so it should be alright. And that should literally just sort that out, so now you can come out without somebody AWPing you. And the only bits you've really got to worry about if you're rushing is here in pit, and also kind of round here. So I can show you that in action now. So during this round you can actually see Jay getting into position and throwing that smoke. Just pop a little flash through. Just seeing him go in there. I mean, really in that situation I could have actually been taken from behind, giggity, but luckily I wasn't. The next one I'm going to show you actually is to push up a little bit further. So just get yourself right into this corner of the barrel. Aim up at this sign, but as long as where you're aiming is within this building. So here's fine, here's not fine, because if I go down I've actually missed this little building. It's got to bounce off this building. So aim at the sign, get ready for your smoke, and you want to release it just before you get to the corner, like there. And that is every time going to bounce straight in the middle here and give you a bloody good smoke. There's normally a little gap here. It might be sort of the case that you, as you're running up, you just want to pop a flash in there, meaning you can just get through and up onto your bomb site. Another smoke that's been really useful, which is when you know there's people at long and you want to get up to the A bomb site, you've got no one to boost you up, perhaps you're the last man, is basically we need to learn to smoke just here. And the way to do that, this will take a bit of practice, but you see this little grassy nodule here. What you want to do is, from around here, running, is aim to the left of it and just above it at the little bounce, the little sort of bouncy bit of ground here, and run and throw, and it will bounce up, it will sort of roll along, and it will literally just give you a tiny bit of cover as you run up here. And it does take a while to get right, but it's worth it, and it looks badass when you actually get it right. So from that position I'm just going to chuck the smoke. Rolls up along the ledge, drops down, you have to wait a few seconds, and then you can push up. So I knew that these guys were there from previous info, saw the guy up just above pit, can wait for him, and with really slow reactions, dead. The next smoke I'm going to show you is if you guys kind of want to rush B. You get a smoke and you kind of just throw it almost as low on the wall as you can, and as close to this corner here as you can. Obviously sometimes there might be somebody there, so you might not want to get as close, but you just want it to bounce. So then you can push out knowing that the guy up there, or sort of down there behind those barrels, can't actually see you. So then when you run out, as long as you've got two people, you've got one who looks and checks there, and you've got one who's checking these two, then you can kind of push out and make your picks. Whilst we're at B site, I'll show you a couple of grenades or flashes. It works either way. But you see this little pillar, you can actually use both sides of this to bounce things. So if I aim at that side, I can actually bounce a grenade into that kind of side of things, and the other way, if someone's behind the box, I can just pop it right around that corner. So just be aware of these grenades. These posts are actually quite useful. In theory you could kind of do the same thing here. You might be able to bounce one off here. No, that's not a good idea. Don't do that one. Don't do that one. But perhaps, you don't know, here. Yeah, so that's quite a nice one. You can bounce one off there if you know think that people are sort of around here gathering up, bunching. But I thought they were quite useful. Just sort of bear in mind that you have actually got pillars, and use the angles. Always use the angles. One that I've seen a lot of people doing, which is pretty bloody pointless, and I did it quite a lot until I actually watched the demo back and thought that was crap, is standing here and throwing a flashbang out. Because you think, oh yes, it's great, and you come out thinking, yeah. But actually, where that has actually blown up, unless I'm standing here, or kind of up here, it's not going to get me. It's only going to get you if you're here. So it's much more worthwhile to actually just chuck one over the top. At least that is it's going to blow up here, and you'll get everybody on the entire site, not just the people standing up here or over here. Okay, so now these are some flashes for the B site if you're CT and you want to take it back. Terrorists have planted. There's a few ways you can flash into the site. One can be like this, bounce it off the little mound here, and it will pop flash into there. Another one, you can bounce it off this mound, and it will go right over the wall. And another way is to bounce it off here, and it will go over. So there's a few ways. You can see where they kind of end. Green isn't the greatest colour against blue, but you can see where they're going to pop. So they're really, really useful. They take a bit of getting used to. All of them, notice, are running. None of them are standing still. I don't know, maybe standing still works. It's a bit weak. So yeah, you really do want to be running for this one, and it will go right over. A really useful smoke that I've seen and used a lot is actually to come up into the middle of these two, so in between the tire and the crate, aim up at the crossing where this wire crosses this one, and just throw, and that is going to just smoke off these doors basically. So it's just really helpful actually, because it can contain people in here. Normally by the time, if that smoke has gone off and they're rushing, a few people will have got out, but it will keep the rest of them in there unless you guys actually get picked by the first people. So you can just see that working in action here. So as you can see, I'm literally just going to chuck the smoke as demonstrated. It's going to go over me and whoever this chap is. They're going to try and get some picks. I luckily get the bomb there. I do get flashed myself, but the other guy's covering me. And now we've actually trapped those guys. They can't get out, and we can just cover this area. Some real general tactics for using grenades is I picked up from the player that I play with called Jay. And it's generally because he's the best player, and he always ends up being completely alone without any of our friends. So a lot of the time he has to run just to save his weapon. And a good way to kind of do things with that, if you know you've got people behind you, one of the easiest things you can do, if you've got a smoke and a flash, or a flash even, you can just run along and just drop it, because then immediately you've got a shield here. And the other thing that you can do is whatever wall you're running up to, it doesn't matter which one, you could do this off anything, but let's say you're running around here, just bang a flash right off the same wall, and it's just going to go right back and blind the player that's chasing you. So there's just kind of a couple of really helpful things that can save your life, save your gun, and in the end really save you the match. So I hope that's been useful, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Thanks. One on long with all. CT. It's dead. Sick, Jay.